The woman stood at the edge of the parking lot with a paper-thin jacket pulled tight around her shoulders, as if it could hold together the parts of her life that were coming undone. Evening light bled across the asphalt, turning puddles into dull mirrors. Inside the restaurant, warmth and noise spilled through the glass doors. Laughter, clinking trays, the smell of frying oil and bread. She hesitated before stepping forward, counting the breaths it would take to cross the distance. Her name was Maria Alvarez, and the courage it took to ask for help felt heavier than the hunger, twisting inside her. She had practiced the words in her head all afternoon. Not a demand, not a plea, just a question. Food that would otherwise be thrown away. Something small. Something to quiet the ache in her children's bellies for the night. The job she'd been promised cleaning offices had fallen through. The landlord had posted another warning, and the refrigerator in her apartment held only a jar of mustard and a half-empty jug of milk that smelled faintly sour. She told herself this was temporary. She told herself people were kind. She told herself she would not cry. Inside, the restaurant buzzed with the comfortable rhythm of routine. Teenagers leaned against counters scrolling their phones. Families wrangled children into booths, and the manager, Derek Caldwell, paced with a tablet tucked under his arm. His tie loosened, his patience thin. Derek believed in rules the way some people believed in prayer. Rules were clean lines in a messy world. Rules were how he'd climbed from fry cook to manager. And tonight the rules were already fraying him. A shipment had been late. A fryer was acting up. Corporate had emailed about shrinkage. Waste was a number that could end careers. Maria stepped through the doors, the rush of heat making her dizzy. She waited near the trash bins where bags of bread were stacked for disposal later, the smell both comforting and cruel. When she finally caught Derek's eye, she raised a hand, small and tentative. He frowned, thinking she was cutting the line. He gestured sharply for her to step aside. "Yes," he said, already glancing back at the counter. His tone was clipped, efficient. "I'm sorry," Maria began. Her voice wavered despite her resolve. "I don't want to cause trouble. I just wanted to ask if there's any food, anything that you were going to throw away for my children. I can wait until closing. I can stand outside." The words landed wrong. Derek heard only risk. He heard only policy. He saw the email about waste and imagined a supervisor's raised eyebrow. He imagined a photograph, a complaint, a problem. He didn't hear the hunger in her voice. He didn't see the tremor in her hands. "We can't do that," he said. "It's against policy." "I understand," she said quickly. "I really do. I just thought—" I said no. His voice rose. Nearby conversations dipped, curious. "You can't ask for free food. That's solicitation." "I'm not asking for free food," she said softly. "I'm asking for food you're throwing away." Derek's face tightened. He felt challenged, embarrassed. He felt the eyes on him and the weight of being in charge. "You need to leave," he said, "now." Maria took a step back, cheeks burning. "Please," she said. "My kids—" "Leave," he repeated louder. He reached out and took her elbow, not violently, but with the force of someone used to moving obstacles. The contact startled her. She stumbled, bumping into a chair. A child gasped. Someone muttered, "Hey." Maria's fear broke through. "Don't touch me," she said, pulling free. Her voice cracked. Tears blurred her vision, making the room tilt. She felt suddenly very small, very visible. "Out," Derek said, pointing to the door. His hand shook. "Or I'm calling the police." She backed toward the exit, humiliation washing over her. As she reached the door, the wind pushed it open, carrying in the low thunder of engines. The sound rolled through the parking lot like a warning drum. Heads turned. Derek frowned, annoyed at the distraction. Outside, a line of motorcycles eased into the lot, chrome catching the dying light. Leather jackets bore patches worn soft by miles. The riders cut their engines one by one, the sudden quiet heavy. They were a mixed group, men and women, young and old, and they moved with the easy confidence of people who had learned to rely on each other. They had been riding together for years, a loose brotherhood called the Iron Compass, bound by the road and a belief in showing up when it mattered. Maria stood on the sidewalk, breathing hard. One of the bikers, a woman with silver hair braided down her back, noticed her tears and the way her hands trembled. She swung off her bike and approached gently. "Hey," she said, voice warm. "You okay?" Maria wiped her face, ashamed. "I'm fine," she lied. I shouldn't have come. Another biker, a tall man with a calm gaze, stepped closer. What happened? Before Maria could answer, Derek burst through the doors, his irritation boiling over. You need to move along, he snapped, addressing Maria but projecting to the group. This is private property. The silver-haired woman straightened, her kindness hardening into something else. We're customers, she said evenly, and we're concerned. Derek scoffed. Concerned about what? She asked for food for her kids, the woman said. You put your hands on her. I escorted her out, Derek said. She was causing a scene. The bikers exchanged looks. Engines ticked as they cooled. The air felt charged like a storm gathering. Maria hugged herself, wishing she could disappear. She hadn't meant for this. She hadn't meant for strangers to be pulled into her worst moment. But the bikers didn't move away. They moved closer, not threatening, just present, watching. Derek felt his authority slipping. He felt judged. He felt surrounded. You all need to leave, he said, now. The tall man smiled, not unkindly. We will, he said. After we eat. And just like that, the evening shifted. They filled the restaurant. With the rumble of conversation and the scent of leather warmed by road heat, they ordered simply, burgers, fries, coffee, and paid without fuss. They were polite, tipping well, thanking the staff. Derek hovered, torn between irritation and the instinct to appease. He told himself this would pass. He told himself he was right. Still, he couldn't shake the image of Maria's face when he'd grabbed her arm. The silver-haired woman, her name was June, sat near the window where she could see Maria on the sidewalk, unsure whether to stay or go. June waved her in with a gentle motion. Maria hesitated, then stepped back inside, eyes down. Sit, June said, sliding a chair out. Please. I can't, Maria said. I don't have money. June pushed a coffee toward her. It's already paid for. Maria wrapped her hands around the cup, the warmth seeping into her fingers. She hadn't realized how cold she was. Thank you, she whispered. Around them, the iron compass talked quietly. Not about anger or revenge. About kids and miles ridden and towns passed through. About a food drive they'd organized last winter. About a time when a stranger had helped them when a bike broke down in the rain. They spoke as if kindness were a language they'd practiced. Derek watched from behind the counter, unease crawling up his spine. He felt the weight of the room shift away from him. He felt exposed. When June caught his eye, she didn't glare. She nodded once, inviting conversation. He approached reluctantly. What do you want? He asked. June gestured to Maria. We want to understand. Derek crossed his arms. I followed policy. Policy isn't a shield, June said. It's a tool. You choose how to use it. He bristled. You don't know what it's like to manage a place like this. Corporate rules, liability. June leaned back. I ran a diner for 20 years, she said. I know exactly what it's like. The tall man, his name was Eli, spoke up. Nobody's saying you should risk your job, but there are ways to help without breaking rules. Derek hesitated. He hadn't expected that. Like what? Eli shrugged. Like treating her like a person. Like offering information. Like not grabbing her. Derek opened his mouth to argue, then closed it. He looked at Maria, really looked. He saw the exhaustion etched around her eyes. He saw the careful way she held herself as if bracing for impact. Shame pricked him, sharp and unexpected. I shouldn't have touched you, he said stiffly. That was wrong. Maria's eyes flicked up. She nodded once. I just wanted to feed my kids. June placed a hand over Maria's. How old are they? 6 and 8, Maria said. They're good kids. Eli smiled. I bet they are. A hush fell as Derek made a decision. He cleared his throat. There's a community pantry 2 blocks over, he said. Open late. I can write down the address. And, I can buy you a meal. For tonight. Maria's breath caught. You don't have to. I want to, he said. The words surprised him too. June's gaze softened. That's a start. The food arrived, bags filled carefully, sealed, labeled. Not leftovers, not scraps, real meals. Maria's hands shook as she accepted them, gratitude and relief tangling in her chest, until she laughed and cried at the same time. The iron compass stood, giving her space, offering smiles and nods. Outside, the night had deepened. Streetlights hummed. The bikers gathered by their bikes, engines ready but unstarted. June pulled a card from her pocket and pressed it into Maria's hand. Call if you need help finding resources, she said. We've got a network. Maria nodded, overwhelmed. Thank you, she said again and again. Derek watched from the doorway as Maria walked away. Shoulders lighter under the weight of the bags, he felt something loosen inside him. Something he hadn't known was knotted. He thought about rules and the spaces between them. He thought about the power of a moment to tilt a life just a little. The bikers mounted up. Eli caught Derek's eye and offered a small salute. Good night, he said. As the engines roared to life and the iron compass rolled out, the restaurant settled back into its routine, but Derek knew the night had marked him. He returned to the counter, quieter now, more careful. He scribbled a note to himself about the pantry, about kindness, about the cost of forgetting that people come before policies. Maria reached her apartment as her children ran to meet her, eyes bright at the sight of the bags. She knelt, holding them close, breathing them in. For the first time in weeks, the night didn't feel endless. Somewhere down the road, engines faded into the dark, carrying with them a reminder that help sometimes arrives loud and unexpected, and that even the hardest moments can turn when people choose to see one another.